Congratulations on the first title program history.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of work was put into that. Definitely, you guys came out very physical. You kind of controlled the boards with Nasby. She was doing a really good job with that. But the most important thing, you held their best player, Nadia Lowe. You held her for 2 points in that first half. Tell us, what was the game plan coming in against her?
It's pretty simple. Let Nicole play her one-on-one. Nicole's gotten a lot better job in the center of our zone of being able to play one-on-one. That allows our 4 perimeter defenders in our 2-3 to kind of stay out on shooters, and her teammates just trust her. And she did a great job of, again, just playing one-on-one. I know it sounds simple, but that was a game plan, and Nicole did a great job of cleaning the glass too.
Larry, players also. You're down here for the first time, you get that hot start. Just talk about how you put the nerves aside to come out and play that well.
How I put the nerves
How you
aside.
got them ready to go.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Were you guys nervous to start the game?
I think everyone was a little bit nervous to start, just waiting for the tip-off and all the adrenaline to start, kind of dwindle down a little bit and not be so anxious, and, getting those first couple points and going on that run. It really helped with the nerves. We knew we had a big lead on them, a decent lead on them, and so you didn't have to be as nervous as if it was playing Minster again and having basket after basket and, going back and forth between the scores.
I do think it goes back to their confidence too. They're confident in their abilities, they're confident in their preparation. I mean, they watch a ton of film. We lift during the vast majority of the season. They show up for morning shooting. So, your confidence comes in your preparation, and then the moment doesn't get too big for you.
Nicole Nasby, 5-5 from the field, 16 rebounds, 13 points. I feel like she was one of the biggest dominators in the contest for you guys, but Kendall Paulding, that first quarter, it was magnificent. Talk about her play.
Like I said, she did a great job at the top of our 1-2-2 getting deflections, and even more so at the top of our 2-3. Her length, provides some of their shorter guards some issues with passing lanes and angles and things like that. And she was really aggressive early. We knew that Rootstown, most teams play the drive on closeouts. Rootstown plays the shot. They're flying out on their closeouts. They're really aggressive. They have some physical hand activity. So we knew we would have some rip-through opportunities. We knew we wanted to attack their closeouts with force and try to get to the rim. And Kendall did a great job of that. I thought she got to the rim on multiple occasions and was able to finish inside, and that was huge to get us started in that first quarter.
Brian, how would you describe the play of your role players? I mean, we all know how great Lauren is, but the rest of the girls and the way they played tonight, with Kendall and Allison Thompson started out hot. Just explain how the maturation of those role players are attributed to playing with somebody like Lauren.
Yeah, everybody's kind of found their niche and takes great pride in what they do. Be great in your role for the team, and I think our team has thrived on that. And obviously we have 3 great players up here, but you take like Ruth Myers, just gets after it at the top of the 2-3 zone, did a better job of taking care of the basketball on the offensive end, made some really good decisions. Elise Fortman, bring her off the bench, she's a really good shooter for us, active at the top of the zone. And then Aubrey Schrader, to have a scorer with that type of length and that type of speed to bring off the bench is huge in a game like this. Credit Aubrey and Allison to making that switch midway through the year. At the beginning of the year, Aubrey was starting for us. Allie was coming off the bench. We thought Aubrey hit a little bit of a wall, but maybe she was playing a couple games where she wasn't scoring as much and she got kind of sick, missed a couple days. So we made the switch and had Allison start, and she provides us with good decision making. She's a very instinctive player, and that allows us to bring Aubrey in after our opponents maybe at 2 or 3 minutes into the game a little bit tired, and then you bring somebody in with that type of length and that type of athleticism, and it makes her much more effective.
First things first, as a Columbus Grove graduate, I'd like to thank you all. Congratulations. And the signs will be ordered for the edge of town. They're going to go up here pretty soon, hopefully.
It's exciting.
Brian, little threw me off a little bit today's game, 2-3. You guys are very proud about your 2-3 defense.
Yeah.
I look up what time, I was like, 1-3-1. What was the thought at that time?
That was Lauren's thought, actually. We had worked on it this week. You know, you try to keep things fresh. It's a long season, especially having 1 week, you know, and playing the state semifinals on a Friday, and then having a whole nother week until you play the state finals. So, you know, you're trying to find creative ways and keeping things fresh and doing different things, maybe bringing a scout team in. And I thought 1-3-1 would do that. I also thought their guards were, you know, they had a couple 5-2 guards. So if we extended Kendall, because she does such a great job at the top of our 1-2-2, Aubrey worked that position as well. So I thought it would give them some issues. And so we repped it all week. It actually looked really good. And then at halftime, Lauren and the players, that was a player-led decision, said, hey, coach, how about we start in the 1-3-1? We can either go one possession and switch back into 2-3, or we can stay in it depending on how they react to it and how they move the ball in it. And you guys saw what happened. They had a little bit of an unforced turnover, stayed in it. I thought it did what we wanted it to do. And, that's just the type of maturity, the confidence, and the intelligence that our players have.
Kendall, I'm just curious what that first quarter was like for you. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't have a 10-point first quarter from Kendall Pulte on their scouting report. So how did it feel to kind of catch them off guard, and then you let these two and some of the others really take over and thrive after that?
I mean, it feels great. I know my advantage is my speed and my defense, so I just knew we had to go out there, like you said, hit them first. So.
When you got one of those steals too, you got a breakaway wide open layup, and sometimes those can get a little rushed. Sometimes you throw them off the backboard, but you kind of calmly took 2 steps and just drained it. How'd you stay so even keel through such a momentous sequence?
We practice situations like that quite a bit, and so it was something I was bad at the beginning of the year. I would always just run like full speed and brick the layups. So yeah, definitely put a lot of work into doing something like that.
Yeah, that shows. I'm going to interject. That shows the amount of time and the coachability that Kendall has. She was kind of a 1-foot finisher. She would just come in 100 miles an hour, finish off 1 foot, and sometimes it was good, and sometimes it maybe wasn't so good. So she's really, really worked hard on her game, trying to be a better off 2 feet. You see that growing in the game. It gives you more options, pivoting wise. And I told her if she has a size advantage, height advantage, a leaping advantage, which she pretty much always does, get to 2 and be strong. And that's a part of her game she's really worked hard on and grown in that area.
Then one more, just what was that first thought maybe from each of you once the buzzer sounded? Was that the point where it became real, or has it not become real yet? And when do you think it might be?
The buzzer went off, and there's a couple minutes, going back into the game, there's a couple minutes left, and you're up by 15-20, and you kind of have it in the bag, and that you've won a state championship. So as the time was dwindling down, and you see the JV line up against at the front, and you realize hey, it's happening. It's actually real. There's just a lot of emotions coming out. I don't know about them, but hugged coaches, hugged the players, and started crying because we made school history, and it's just, as I've been Water Girl since first grade, it's just an accomplishment I've always wanted to see or achieve. So. Once the buzzer went off and we realized that, we got the victory, there's just a mix of emotions from everyone.
Yeah, it's such a journey, the season, this is the 20th week of the basketball season. So it is a long grind, and as a coach, your mind's always on the next one. What do we have to do better? What are we not so good at? And, it was just surreal, oh my gosh, we're going to win. This is the last game of the year. We're going to finish as winners. Lauren's motto for the team this year was defend to the end, and I thought that was very fitting because these girls guarded really, really hard. I thought our defense set our tone, today for the end of our journey for this historical season for our school.
Coach, I have a question that was addressed
You left Lauren in the second quarter with 3 fouls. Can you talk about your mindset there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's no wrong or right, but we trust our players. We feel like we have very intelligent players. So, you know, I guess the norm in coaching circles, if you have 2 fouls in the second, you pull them out. 3 fouls in the third, you pull them out. But you know, I feel like a lot of coaches foul their own players out in the middle of the game. You know, you can't get, whether you sit them 5 or 6 minutes in the second or third, you're not going to get that time back. So I trust them to adjust their play and to be intelligent with not putting themselves in bad spots. And that's something we've done all season. Nicole has a tendency to get into foul trouble and play with 3 and 4 fouls for a long spell of time. But again, that just speaks to the trust that we have in them. It speaks to the intelligence that they play the game with.
All right, our last question, and then we'll let them go solve.
Nicole, I just wanted to ask about the preparation that went into the week. Obviously, I think number 35, I mean, she's got great spin moves. She's got a really good arsenal. You obviously have a size advantage, but still it's easy to fall for those fakes and spin moves. And I thought you were incredibly disciplined staying with her. Just what was kind of your thought and what went into this week of preparation for going up against her?
Like, especially like, well, for going up against them and like the whole team, like taking care of the ball and being able to handle ball pressure. And I know, like, right before the game, I had to keep thinking in my mind, just stay down, don't fall for the ball fakes, and, you know, keep my hands down or try and mirror the basketball and try and get deflections inside our zone.
That's something she's worked really, really hard on. You know, we'll do some post-perimeter work, and we'll have the guards work on some sort of guard-oriented skill, whether it's finishing off 2 feet or decision-making or shooting or what have you. And Nicole will bring on the other end and work most of the times on offense, but we worked a lot on defense too, where we just put her in one-on-one situations in the middle of her zone, and she has to be able to guard somebody in space in one-on-one situations because we want to keep our 4 perimeter players out on shooters and be able to defend those cuts. So at the beginning of the year, Nicole was not near the defender she is now, so that's just a testament to how hard she's worked at that and how much she's grown as a defender. And then, you know, even more so rebounding. You know, she has good size, but she's just grown into just a dominating presence on the boards as well.